Welcome back! Right now, we are working with our very first Python program. Looks like it'd be like this. That prints the word hello. And we are about to learn a bit more about the print function. This is chapter 4 in the Arcade Academy book. But I'm just going to show you the most important parts of this page. So, in Python, and pretty much all programming languages, we have functions. And a function is a group of code that does something, has some purpose. For example, we have already seen our first function called print, and that prints something to the screen. Yes, I know it's not all that glamorous. It just prints something to the terminal here, just says that, types that out. But a function, there are many different functions that can do different things. Maths functions and functions to, make the sounds on your computer, all sorts of things. Functions can take information. In this case, it takes information about what you want to say. So this one, maybe I want to say hello, maybe I want to say hi there. Either way, that is information, or a parameter in Python language, that I've provided to the function being print. This text here, to show that this is text and literally the words hi there, these letters, I put it in quotes, either single quotes or double quotes. Okay, so we've got functions. We've already seen how to run our program. You can double click on a file here, put the contents in, the source code of what code you want to run, and then press the play button. The output appears, if you press play, down here. So we've already seen that. Programs don't always work on the first try. In fact, they rarely do. As programmers, we run programs over and over until we find the right code. You need to be persistent to be a programmer. What is very helpful is that the computers do give errors. For example, most programming languages really care about uppercase and lowercase. For a human, if you wrote print like this, or print like this, they'll understand that this is the word print. Or if I put it all in capitals, they would know that it's the same thing. But computers normally really care about upper and lowercase. It's like it's something completely different. So we'll come up with an error, a name error. I don't know what this thing print is. I know what print is with lowercase. That will work. But if I put something the computer doesn't recognize, whether print like that, or even some gibberish, it will get to this instruction and say, hang on, I don't know what that thing is. I don't know what that name is. So that's a name error. It's telling you that there's some error maybe in the spelling or the capitalization, or you haven't told the computer what this thing is. So let's change that back to print, and then it will work. So that's a name error. But also, sometimes there are errors in, I suppose, the punctuation of a program. The full stops and commas in English. In programming, we call that the syntax. So the brackets that are here, look how they're nicely matched. We've got an open bracket here and a closing bracket here, a quote here and a quote here to finish that off, matching in lovely pairs. But maybe we make a mistake in the syntax. Oh no, this doesn't make sense. There should be a bracket there, but there's not. And again, Python will get confused by that because we've closed a bracket here, but haven't opened one. And it will give you a syntax error. So that means that you haven't got, normally, the punctuation, the commas, the brackets, the quotes, in the right order. Warnings can happen, but they don't happen by default in Visual Studio, so I'll just skip past the warnings. We can run more than one line of code if we want to do many different things. Maybe we want to print hi there, and I'll just put some punctuation here so it's a full sentence. How are you? In a capital letter. So it'll run this line first, and then it will run the next line. Python works from top to bottom, running the lines of code. You might come up with an error if you want to say something like, "It's a lovely day." This will come up with a syntax error, and maybe you can already see the syntax error because the color coding in this IDE, in this Visual Studio Code integrated development environment, the color coding makes it easier to see. So if I press play, even before you play, you can see there's a problem. But if I press play, there's a syntax error, invalid syntax, and it's showing me about here, with that arrow on this line. And that's because I've started the quote here and ended there. So now it's confused what all this stuff is, because the quote is used to end this string. So I don't want to use this quote, as something that's meaning to Python. I just want it to be a literal apostrophe mark. And there are two ways to fix this. One way is you can escape it. You put a backslash before it, and that means, yes, I really want an actual apostrophe here. This isn't the end of the string. I don't just want it. I want to put an apostrophe in, and that will let you do it. The other way is, in Python, you can do single or double quotes for a string. So that will also work. I might leave it showing the escape code if you do a backslash, because there are other cool escape codes as well. You can have, for example, a tab with \t. You can see that it's highlighted in a different color. So it's a tab, bit of a gap, lovely day. Or you can do a new line with, I'll do \n is a new line. There you go. It's a new line, lovely day. I guess I could have put an extra print statement, but it's just another way to do it. You might think, hang on, if a backslash has meaning, and it means the next character is something special, like a new line, or a tab or something, then what if I actually want to put a backslash? What if I want to put a backslash here? It'll think that \d means something. Oh, that actually worked. Here's one that won't work. There we go. You can see this won't work because a \n is an enter. It's a new line. So if you actually want a backslash, one of these, I don't know why you would. I guess it's not very common. You can do \\. So that's how you can do special characters in Python. And finally, you can do triple quotes. If you want to do lots of lines, one after the other, you want a big string that goes for many lines, you can say, hey, it's good for probably doing a poem. There's one from Ogden Nash. To keep, what does he say? Ogden Nash on marriage. Maybe it's a little bit cynical. I don't know. I think it's kind of nice about being humble. To keep your... You don't have to type this poem, by the way. To keep your marriage brimming with love in the loving cup. Whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. By Ogden Nash. He was a pretty silly poet. If I run that now, this is one big long string from start to end that has an enter or a new line at the end of each line here. Yeah. You can imagine that if I didn't do that, if I tried to just use either a single quote or a double quote, Python would say, hang on, print what? It would get to the end of this line and think you haven't finished your line of code. It'll give us a syntax error. I got to the end of line while scanning, while looking for a string. String is some text. So that's why if you want to do something that's multiple lines, you can either use more than one print statement, or you can do a \n, or you can do these 3 quotes in a row. Beautiful. And that, I believe, is everything that you need to succeed in Lab 1. Until next time.